The notification sound makes my phone screen light up, casting a harsh glow across the break room. Another Instagram post from my sister. Living my best life. Nara blessed was Santorini to wanderlust. The photo shows Tinsley lounging on a white cushioned daybed, Mediterranean waves sparkling behind her like scattered diamonds. Those waves cost me 6 months of overnight shifts. My name is Vanessa, and I'm the responsible one. That's not a compliment. It's a collar they fitted me with so young I stopped noticing its weight. Another postcard from paradise. Jonah's voice startles me. He's leaning against the break room door frame, coffee in hand, dark circles under his eyes matching mine. We're both halfway through our overnight shift at the shipping warehouse. Something like that. I lock my phone, but not before he catches a glimpse. Wait, isn't that where you were planning to go for your birthday? I shrug, gathering my hair into a fresh ponytail. Plans change. Tinsley needed the money for her graduation trip. Needed? His eyebrow raises. The same sister who failed out 3 times. She's trying again, I say automatically, the words worn smooth like river stones from repetition. Mom says this time will be different. Jonah takes the seat across from me, his expression careful. You know, every time you mention your family, you get this look, like you're reciting lines from a script. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes again. Mum this time. Sweetie, Tinsley's having trouble with her credit card in Greece. Can you transfer another 500? She's stranded. My fingers move automatically to my banking app. The balance in my savings account, the one I've been building for 3 years toward my dream apartment, stares back at me. $42,687. It would have been closer to $60,000 if not for Tinsley's emergencies. Hold up! Jonah's voice is sharp. He's watching me from across the table. You're not actually... She's stranded, I repeat, but my voice sounds hollow even to me. In a 5-star resort in Santorini? The horror! He leans forward. Van, I've watched you eat ramen for dinner 3 nights straight. You work 60 hours a week between here and your freelance gigs. When's the last time you bought yourself something nice? I think about the apartment listings I've been secretly browsing. The 1-bedroom with the bay window and built-in bookshelves. The one that's exactly $40,000 down. My phone rings. It's Dad. Vanessa! His voice booms without preamble. Your mother texted you about Tinsley's situation. Why haven't you responded? I'm at work, Dad, on break. This is family. Family comes first. The familiar weight settles on my shoulders. Your sister is in a foreign country. Do you want her sleeping on the streets? I glance at Tinsley's Instagram. The latest story shows her ordering champagne at a rooftop bar. No, Dad, I'll transfer it now. Good girl. That's why we can always count on you. The call ends. Jonah's watching me with an expression I can't quite read. You know what the difference is between you and your sister? He asks quietly. She's the fun one, the pretty one, the one with potential. I list off the familiar comparisons. No. He stands up, break time over. She's the one who takes. You're the one who gives until there's nothing left. He pauses at the door. Just remember, empty people can't pour from an empty cup. I stare at my phone, at the banking app still open. $42,687. 3 years of double shifts, freelance projects, cancelled plans, and delayed dreams. All to fund someone else's highlight reel. My break ends in 2 minutes, just enough time to transfer $500 to Tinsley's emergency. As I type in the amount, another Instagram notification pops up. Tinsley, tagged at a designer boutique. Shopping therapy, when in Greece. Ya blessed shock retail therapy. Living my best life. Something shifts inside me, subtle but seismic, like a hairline crack appearing in a dam. I close the banking app without making the transfer. For the first time in years, I let my sister's call go to voicemail. The world doesn't end. The sky doesn't fall. Instead, I open my email and click on the saved apartment listing. The bay window unit is still available. The real estate agent's contact information glows on my screen like a beacon. My phone erupts with texts. Mom, Dad, Tinsley. Each message adds another hairline crack to that internal dam. Soon, very soon, something's going to break. But for once, I don't think it's going to be me. We need to discuss something important. Mum's text arrives at 6 a.m. just as I'm crawling into bed after my shift. Family dinner tonight, no excuses. I stare at the message, that familiar dread pooling in my stomach. In my family, important discussions always end with my bank account lighter and my shoulders heavier. When I arrive at their house 12 hours later, the table is set with Mum's good china, the kind she only uses for ambushes disguised as celebrations. Dad sits at the head of the table, Tinsley to his right, still tanned from grease. Mum bustles around with a dish of lasagna that smells like childhood guilt. "You look tired, sweetie," Mum says, kissing my cheek. "Are you still working those awful night shifts?" "Someone has to pay the bills," I mutter, then immediately regret it when Tinsley's face crumples. "That's actually what we wanted to discuss," Dad says, gesturing for me to sit. "Tinsley has some exciting news." My sister straightens up, flashing her perfect teeth. "Reed and I are getting back together, and we found the most amazing condo downtown. It's perfect for starting our life together." "That's great," I say carefully, watching Mum serve portions with suspicious enthusiasm. "The thing is," Dad continues, "the down payment is due next week, and with Tinsley's situation—" "My situation," Tinsley interrupts. "Daddy, don't make it sound so dramatic. I'm just between opportunities right now." "You mean between colleges?" I say flatly. "Vanessa," Mum's voice carries that warning tone. "Your sister is finding herself. That takes time." "And money," I add. "Lots of it, usually mine." Dad sets down his fork with a sharp clink. "That's exactly the attitude we need to address. Your mother and I have been talking, and we think it's time you stepped up as the older sister." My phone buzzes. A text from Desiree. "Saw Tinsley's grease pics, still funding her fairy tale life?" "The condo needs 40,000 down," Mum says softly, reaching for my hand across the table. "We know you've been saving." The room goes quiet. Too quiet. I can hear the clock ticking, marking seconds between their expectant stares and my stunned silence. "You want my savings?" My voice sounds distant, like it's coming from someone else. "My entire savings?" "Not want," Dad corrects. "Need. Family needs. Tinsley needs a good start in life. You're established. You have your jobs." "Jobs I work to save for my own place," I interrupt, something sharp rising in my throat. "Oh, please," Tinsley rolls her eyes. "That tiny apartment you keep talking about, you can get that any time. This is about my future." "And what about my future?" Mum's face does that thing, that subtle shift from nurturing to manipulative. "Sweetheart, we raised you to understand family obligations, to be responsible." "Yeah," I stand up, chair scraping against hardwood. "You raised me to be an ATM." "So sit down," Dad's voice thunders. "We're not finished." "Actually, we are." I grab my purse. "I need to think about this." "Think about what?" Tinsley's voice rises. "I need an answer by Thursday. The realtor won't hold it forever." I pause at the door, looking back at them. Mum's calculated concern, Dad's barely contained anger, Tinsley's entitled pout. A lifetime of roles assigned and lines rehearsed. "I'll let you know," I say quietly, and walk out. In my car, my phone lights up with another text from Desiree. "You're not their daughter, you're their donor. When are you going to see that?" I drive home in a daze, muscle memory guiding me through familiar streets. Inside my small rental, I open my laptop and log into my bank account. $42.78, the number I've watched grow penny by penny, night shift by night shift. My finger hovers over the transfer option. It would be so easy to give in, to be the good daughter one more time, to keep the peace, keep the roles, keep the dysfunction spinning like a toxic merry-go-round. Instead, I open a new tab and search for how to open a secret bank account. My phone buzzes continuously. Mom, Dad, Tinsley, all demanding responses, explanations, compliance. I silence it and keep reading, something cold and calculating replacing the usual guilt in my chest. They want an answer by Thursday? Fine, they'll get one. But for the first time in my life, it won't be the answer they expect. I close my laptop and lean back, a strange calm settling over me. They taught me to be responsible after all, to plan carefully, to think things through. They just never expected me to use those lessons against them. The new bank account takes 20 minutes to set up online. I name it Freedom and start with a small transfer, just $5,000. Nothing that would raise eyebrows, nothing that would trigger alerts. "You're searching apartments again," Jonah says 3 nights later, catching me during break. I quickly minimise the browser window, but not before he sees the listing. "First Light Apartments, that's downtown." "Just browsing," I lie, but my hands shake slightly as I close the laptop. "Van?" He sits beside me, closer than usual. "What's going on? You've been different since that family dinner." I stare at my coffee, watching the steam rise. "Have you ever wanted something so badly it scared you?" "The apartment." "Freedom." His hand touches mine briefly, warm and steady. "Tell me." So I do. Not everything. Not the careful transfers I've been making each night. Not the new account growing steadily while my old one shrinks. But I tell him about the condo demand, about years of being the family piggy bank, about feeling like I'm drowning in everyone else's dreams while mine gather dust. "They want 40,000 by Thursday," I finish, "my entire savings." "Jesus!" Jonah runs a hand through his hair. "And you're going to—" "Give them what they deserve." The words come out harder than I intend. His eyes narrow slightly. Why do I feel like that's not the same as giving them what they want? Before I can respond, my phone chimes. Mum's text makes my blood freeze. "Honey, why did I get an alert about First Light Apartments? Are you making decisions without consulting family?" "Shit," I whisper, showing Jonah the message. "Your mum has access to your bank alerts. She insisted after Tinsley's second college dropout, said she needed to monitor the family finances." I laugh bitterly. Guess I'm not the only one who checks balances. My phone rings. Mom calling. I silence it. "You need to cut those strings," Jonah says quietly. "All of them." I nod, already pulling up my bank's website. 2 clicks and Mum's alert access is revoked. It feels like cutting off a limb, terrifying and liberating at once. The next morning, I tour First Light Apartments. Unit 512 has the bay window I've dreamed of, floating shelves for books, and a view of the city that makes my heart race. The leasing agent, Sandra, shows me the paperwork. "It's competitive," she warns. "We have other interested parties." I think of my Freedom account, now holding most of my savings. "How soon can I move in?" "First month's rent and security deposit today. You can have keys next week." I sign without hesitation. That night at work, Jonah finds me in the inventory room, scanning boxes with mechanical precision. "You look different," he says. "Bad different?" "Strong different." He leans against a shelf, like someone who's finally made a decision. My phone vibrates. Dad, this time. "Your mother's upset about losing account access. Call home immediately." I show Jonah the message. They're getting desperate. "Are you scared?" "No." I realise it's true. "I'm just done." He steps closer, his voice dropping. "Whatever you're planning, be careful. People get crazy when money's involved." "People get crazier when control's involved," I correct him, thinking of years of manipulation. But I learned from the best. That night, I make the final transfer. My original account now holds exactly $100, enough to keep it open, not enough to satisfy their demands. The Freedom account holds everything else, ready for my new life. I draft the note I'll leave them, each word chosen with surgical precision. Every sacrifice, every manipulation, every time they chose Tinsley's wants over my needs. It all goes into the document. My phone lights up with Tinsley's message. "Mum's freaking out. What are you doing?" I ignore it, adding another paragraph to the note. Remember when I needed dental surgery and you used my insurance money for Tinsley's spring break? I worked through the pain for 2 months, remember? More messages flood in. Mum: we're worried about you, sweetie. Dad: this behaviour stops now. Tinsley: you're ruining everything. I save the note and close my laptop. Tomorrow they'll demand the bank login. Tomorrow they'll expect compliance, submission, surrender. Tomorrow they'll learn what happens when you push too far, take too much, assume too heavily. Tomorrow they'll learn that the responsible one has finally learned to be responsible for herself. My phone buzzes one last time. Desiree: did you do it? I text back a single word: soon. You've changed, Mum says over the phone, her voice trembling with calculated emotion. The Vanessa I raised would never act this way. You're right, I reply, surprising us both with my calm. She wouldn't. I'm standing in my new apartment, empty still, but mine. The lease is signed, the deposit paid from my Freedom account. The bay window catches the afternoon light, casting long shadows across the bare floors. Your father is very disappointed, she continues. Tinsley hasn't stopped crying. I'm sure she hasn't. I trace my finger along the window glass. Has she found a job yet? That's not, Mum sputters. This isn't about your sister's employment status. No, it's about my bank account. The line goes quiet for a moment. When Mum speaks again, her voice has that dangerous softness. We're having another family dinner tonight, 7 o'clock. Don't disappoint us again. I end the call and check my watch. 4 hours until dinner, 4 hours until everything changes. At work, Jonah catches me in the parking lot before our shift. You look like someone walking into battle. More like walking out of one. I adjust my bag on my shoulder. I'm done fighting. He studies my face. Want to see something first, before you go to war? 20 minutes later, we're on the roof of the warehouse. The city spreads out below us, lights flickering on as dusk approaches. Jonah hands me a coffee from his thermos. I come up here sometimes, he says, when everything gets too heavy down there. It's beautiful. I wrap my hands around the warm cup. You know what else is beautiful? He turns to face me. Watching someone choose themselves for the first time, something flutters in my chest. Something that has nothing to do with family or money or revenge. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. Dad's message is brief. 7 o'clock, don't be late. The family home looks smaller somehow when I pull up, less intimidating. Through the window I can see them all seated at the dining table, Mum, Dad, Tinsley, even Reed, her on-again boyfriend. Vanessa? Dad stands as I enter, his voice clipped. Sit. I remain standing. I can't stay long. Can't, Mum's eyebrows raise, or won't. Both. I meet each of their eyes in turn. I know what this is, another intervention, another guilt trip, another demand disguised as family duty. How dare you? Tinsley starts, but Dad cuts her off. You've been acting erratically, he says, revoking your mother's account access, ignoring calls, making secret apartment arrangements. Secret? I laugh softly. Like how Tinsley secretly used my credit card last year, or how you secretly borrowed from my college fund for her second attempt at school. Reed shifts uncomfortably in his chair. Good. We need the login details, Mum says firmly. By Thursday, this family crisis needs to end. Crisis? I pull out my phone, opening my photos. You mean like when I needed emergency room care but couldn't afford it because I'd just paid Tinsley's car insurance? I show them the hospital bill from 2 years ago. Or like when I worked through bronchitis because my sick day money went to her spring break? That's enough, Dad slams his hand on the table. No, I say quietly. It's not nearly enough, but it will be. My phone pings with a notification, a reminder I set. Transfer complete, Freedom account secured. Thursday, Mum repeats, her voice steel. Send the bank login by Thursday. We'll handle the condo from there. I walk to the door, pausing with my hand on the knob. You know what's funny? You taught me everything I know about responsibility, about planning ahead, About taking care of family. Then prove it, Tinsley snaps. Do the right thing. I look back at them one last time, this tableau of entitlement and manipulation that held me captive for so long. Oh, I will. I open the door. I absolutely will. Outside, the night air feels clean, fresh. My phone buzzes with Jonah's message. How'd it go? I text back, like watching a bomb tick down. They have no idea what's coming. His response makes me smile. Their mistake was teaching you to be responsible. They forgot that meant being responsible for yourself too. I drive to my new apartment, empty but full of possibility. Tomorrow I'll start moving in furniture. Tomorrow I'll begin filling this space with my own dreams instead of someone else's. But tonight I finish the note. Tonight I prepare the final act of this long, exhausting play. Thursday is coming, and for once I can't wait. Thursday morning dawns clear and bright. I've taken the day off work. My first personal day in 3 years that isn't funding someone else's emergency. At exactly 9 a.m. I send the email. Dear family, as requested, here are my bank login credentials. I trust you'll handle everything from here. Username, Vanessa92. Password, Family First 2023. Love, Vanessa PS. You always said I could save more, so can you. I set up my laptop on the bay window ledge of my new apartment, angled perfectly to catch the morning light. The screen shows my old bank account login page, waiting for them to discover what's left. Exactly 100 tollens. My phone starts ringing within minutes, Mum first, then Dad, then Tinsley. I let them all go to voicemail, sipping my coffee as I watch the login attempts register on my screen. 9:47 a.m. Mum's text. There must be some mistake. Where is the money? 9:52 a.m. Dad. Call home immediately. 9:55 a.m. Tinsley. You selfish bitch. I forward the messages to Desiree, who responds instantly. Finally, how does it feel? Before I can answer, my phone rings again. Jonah this time. I pick up. Hey, his voice is warm. Just checking if you're still alive. More alive than I've ever been. I watch another failed login attempt pop up on my screen. They're panicking. Want company? I brought breakfast burritos and moral support. 20 minutes later, we're sitting on my empty apartment floor, watching the chaos unfold on my phone and laptop screens. The messages are getting increasingly desperate. Mum, whatever game you're playing needs to stop now. Dad, you've betrayed this entire family. Tinsley, the realtor needs an answer today. What am I supposed to tell Reed? They still think they can control you, Jonah observes, passing me another burrito. They haven't realised yet. Realised what? That you're not their ATM anymore. You're not their backup plan or their safety net or their guilt sponge. He looks at me intently. You're just free. My phone buzzes with a new message. Reed, surprisingly. Hey V, look, I know you and Tins have issues, but this condo was kind of our future. I type back, funny how my money was supposed to build your future. Maybe try building it yourself. Damn, Jonah laughs. That was cold. I learned from the best. I stand up and walk to the window. Want to help me do something? We spend the next hour returning my old house key. I drop it in my parents' mailbox while Jonah keeps watch from the car. It feels final, decisive, like cutting the last thread. Back at my apartment, I unpack the few boxes I've brought over. Books, clothes, the essential pieces of my life. Jonah helps me arrange them, making the empty space feel more like home. Your mum's on Facebook, he says, checking his phone. Posted something about ungrateful children and family loyalty. I laugh. Let me guess, lots of sad face emojis and vague hints about being betrayed. And at least 3 Bible verses about honouring thy parents. My phone lights up with a new message from Tinsley. Mum's crying. Dad's talking about disowning you. Is this what you wanted? I show it to Jonah. They still think this is a negotiation tactic. Is it? No. I look around my apartment, my space, my freedom, my life. This is a declaration of independence. The final message comes at sunset. Dad, short and sharp. You've made your choice. Live with it. I pour 2 glasses of wine, handing one to Jonah. To choices, I say. To freedom, he adds, clinking his glass against mine. As night falls, I send one last email to my family. Just the note I've been crafting for weeks, detailing every sacrifice, every manipulation, every moment that led to this. Every penny they took, every dream they delayed, every time they chose Tinsley over me. I end it with, you taught me about family obligation, about responsibility, about sacrifice. Today, I'm using those lessons to save myself. Don't contact me again. You okay? Jonah asks softly as I hit send. I look at him, at my new apartment, at the life I'm finally choosing for myself. The weight of family obligation slides off my shoulders like a heavy coat I no longer need. Yeah, I smile. For the first time in forever, I really am. The family group chat I forgot to leave explodes 3 days later. I watch the messages roll in while eating breakfast at my new kitchen counter. Tinsley. The realtor gave our slot to someone else. Thanks a lot, Vanessa. Mum. Has anyone heard from her? My calls still go straight to voicemail. Dad. She made her choice. Tinsley. Reed's being weird about everything now. Says he needs space to think. Mom. Don't worry, sweetie. We'll figure something out. Your father's talking to the bank tomorrow. I screenshot the conversation and send it to Desiree, who replies, The empire crumbles. How's freedom feeling? Before I can respond, someone knocks on my door. Through the peephole, I see Jonah holding coffee cups and a paper bag. Breakfast delivery, he says when I open the door, and moral support. The family meltdown reached DEFCON 1 yet? I show him my phone. Reed's apparently having second thoughts about tying himself to a sinking ship. Smart man. Jonah sets the coffee down. Finally realised he'd be next on the financial chopping block. Probably. I pull out a chocolate croissant from the bag. Mum's Facebook posts are getting biblical. Lots of stuff about prodigal daughters and divine punishment. Divine punishment looks good on you, he grins, then blushes slightly. I mean, you look happier, lighter. Another message pops up in the family chat. Tinsley. Had to move back home. My lease ended and someone ruined my condo plans. Mum. We'll make space, honey. Your old room is just like you left it. Dad. Once we sort out this banking situation. They still think there's money to find, I marvel, like I've hidden it somewhere they can access if they just try hard enough. Control dies hard, Jonah observes. Speaking of control, he's interrupted by my phone ringing, a number I don't recognise. Hello? Vanessa? It's Reed. Can we talk? I put the phone on speaker. About what? Look, I get why you're mad at your family, but this affects me too. Tinsley and I had plans. Plans built on my savings, I cut in. Funny how that works. It's not like that, he protests. We would have paid you back. Jonah snorts loudly. Who's that? Reed demands. Someone who sees through your bullshit, I reply calmly. Was there anything else? Yeah, actually, your sister's a mess. Your parents are talking about remortgaging their house. Is that what you wanted? I think about years of missed opportunities, of working through illness, of cancelling plans to fund Tinsley's adventures. What I wanted, I say slowly, was to be treated like a daughter instead of a donor. What I wanted was to build my own life instead of bankrolling everyone else's. What I wanted was to matter as much as Tinsley. That's not fair. No, it wasn't. That's the point. I hang up. Jonah's watching me with something like pride. You know what's weird, I say, picking up my coffee? I don't even feel guilty anymore. My phone buzzes again. The family chat. Mom. Reed just called. Vanessa, if you're reading this, please come home. We can discuss this like adults. Tinsley. Discuss what? She stole from us. Dad. Enough, both of you. Mom. We're still family. I finally leave the group chat. The silence that follows feels like a cleansing breath. Want to get out of here? Jonah asks suddenly. I know a place with an amazing view of the city. 20 minutes later, we're back on the warehouse roof, but this time it's daylight, and the city sprawls before us like a promise. I used to dream about escaping, I tell him, about just disappearing, but I always felt trapped by obligation. And now? Now I realise the trap was believing I owed them my whole life. My phone lights up with a text from Desiree. Your mum's latest Facebook post is epic. Some daughters walk away when family needs them most. Girl, you broke them. Jonah reads over my shoulder and laughs. They still don't get it, do they? This isn't about walking away, it's about walking toward yourself. I look at him, really look at him, seeing the understanding in his eyes, the support, the possibility. Thank you, I say softly, for seeing me, even when I couldn't see myself. He reaches for my hand, and this time I let him take it. Below us, the city hums with life. Behind us, my phone buzzes with ignored calls and unread messages. But here, in this moment, I'm exactly where I need to be, free. The security guard at First Light Apartments calls me on a Tuesday afternoon. Miss, there's someone here insisting on seeing you, says she's your sister. I'm at work, but I can picture Tinsley in the lobby, designer bag, perfect hair, practiced tears. I'll be there in 20 minutes, don't let her up. Jonah catches my eye across the warehouse floor. Family drama? The final act, maybe. I grab my keys. Want to witness history. When we arrive, Tinsley is exactly as I imagined. Mascara artfully smudged, phone in hand, recording everything for maximum social media sympathy later. Finally, she launches herself forward. Do you know how long I've been waiting? About as long as I waited for you to pay back any of the money you borrowed. I keep my distance, Jonah a steady presence beside me. Who's he? She narrows her eyes at Jonah. Your new boyfriend? Is that what this is about? Some guy convinced you to abandon your family? No, I say quietly. You did that all by yourself. Me? Her voice rises. I'm not the one who stole $40,000. The security guard looks up from his desk, interested. You can't steal what's yours, I reply. But you'd know all about stealing, wouldn't you? My credit cards, my insurance money, my savings. That was different. I needed... You wanted, I correct her. There's a difference. We're family. She steps closer, tears flowing now. You always said you'd be there for me. You promised. I was 13 when you made me promise that. Remember? Right after you broke Mum's vase and convinced me to take the blame? I laugh softly. That was the first time, wasn't it? The first time you realised I'd sacrifice everything to protect you. Tinsley's face changes, the mask slipping for just a moment. You're twisting everything. No, I'm finally seeing it clearly. I move toward the elevator. We're done here. Done? She grabs my arm. You owe me that money. You owe this family. Jonah steps forward, but I shake my head. This is my battle. I paid my dues, I say, removing her hand. In night shifts and overtime, in cancelled dreams and delayed plans, in dental pain and untreated bronchitis, in watching you post vacation photos from trips I funded while I ate ramen for dinner. That's not fair. You're right, it wasn't. I press the elevator button. But here's what you never understood, Tinsley. I'm not mad anymore. I'm not even hurt. I'm just done. There's a difference. The elevator doors open. Tinsley's face crumples into real tears now. Not the performed kind, but the ugly, desperate kind that comes when control slips away. Mum and Dad remortgaged the house, she sobs. Reed left me. Everything's falling apart and it's your fault. No, I step into the elevator, Jonah beside me. It's falling into place. You're just on the wrong side of the equation this time. Please, she whispers, I need you. No, I say, as the doors begin to close. You need what I can give you. There's a difference. The last thing I see is her face, shocked, betrayed, finally understanding what it feels like to be on the receiving end of no. In my apartment, Jonah pulls me into a hug. You okay? Better than okay. I look around my space, still sparse but filling with possibilities. I feel free, peaceful. I check my phone. Already 3 missed calls from Mum, 2 from Dad. They never thought I'd actually do it, actually say no. Their mistake was teaching you to be strong, Jonah says, then expecting you to be weak when it suited them. My phone buzzes with a text from Dad. I hope it was worth it. I show it to Jonah, who reads it and smiles. Was it? I walk to my bay window, looking out at the city. My city now, not theirs. My life, not their backup plan. My future, not Tinsley's safety net. You know what the funny thing is? I turn back to Jonah. They think this was about revenge, about hurting them the way they hurt me. Wasn't it? No. I silence my phone as more messages pour in. It was about saving myself. They just never thought I'd include myself in the list of people worth saving. Jonah takes my hand, and we stand there in the fading light, watching the city come alive with evening lights. Somewhere out there, my family is realizing that their safety net has developed boundaries, that their ATM has grown a spine, that their responsible one has finally become responsible for herself. And for the first time in my life, their reaction isn't my problem to solve. The morning sun streams through my bay window, catching the steam from my coffee. My laptop shows my bank balance, the Freedom account now labelled simply as checking. No more hiding, no more separate accounts, just my money, my choices, my life. My phone buzzes. Desiree, pack your bags, girl. Greece is calling. I laugh, remembering Tinsley's Instagram post from Santorini, the same vacation that started this whole avalanche of change. Seriously, Desiree texts again. I found amazing deals. 2 weeks, you, me, actual vacation that's not funding someone else's good time. You in? Before I can respond, another message pops up from Mum, the first contact in weeks. Your sister had to take a job as a waitress. Is this what you wanted? To destroy her life? I show the message to Jonah, who's making breakfast in my small but perfect kitchen. Funny how getting a job equals destruction in their world, he says, sliding a plate of eggs toward me. Guess I'm not the only one learning about responsibility now. I type back to Desiree. Book it, I'm ready. My phone immediately lights up with a flight confirmation. First international trip of my life, paid for with my own money, chosen for my own joy. A knock at the door interrupts my planning. It's Reed, looking uncomfortable in a suit. What do you want? I ask through the crack in the door. To apologise, actually. He shifts his weight. And to thank you. That catches me off guard. I open the door wider, letting him see Jonah in the kitchen, marking his territory with crossed arms and a steady stare. Thank me, I repeat. Yeah. Reed runs a hand through his hair. You showed me what I was walking into, a lifetime of being the backup plan, the safety net. I saw how they treated you and realised that would have been me next. Figured that out, did you? Got a job offer in Seattle, he continues, taking it, clean break. I nod slowly. Good for you. Your sister? He hesitates. She's different now, working, learning to stand on her own feet. Maybe you did her a favour too. After he leaves, I check social media for the first time in weeks. Tinsley's latest post isn't a glamour shot or a party scene. It's her in a waitress uniform, caption reading, Day 1 of the new journey. Gia humbled, Gia learning, Gia growth. Well, would you look at that, Jonah says over my shoulder. Karma isn't just a bitch, she's a teacher. My laptop pings with an email from Dad. The bank denied our refinancing application. I assume this brings you satisfaction. They still think this is about them, I tell Jonah, closing the laptop. About punishment or revenge. Isn't it? No. I walk to my bay window, my favourite spot in this space that's completely mine. It's about finally understanding that love shouldn't cost you everything you are. Jonah wraps his arms around me from behind. Speaking of love. Speaking of love, I turn in his embrace. Want to come to Greece? His eyes widen. Seriously? Desiree booked 2 weeks. I've got room for a +1. I smile. Unless you're worried about being seen with the family disappointment. You mean the family success story? He kisses me softly. The one who taught her sister responsibility by refusing to be responsible for her? The one who taught her parents about consequences by finally enforcing some? My phone buzzes one last time. A group text from Mum to the whole family. Sunday dinner this week. Mandatory family meeting to discuss financial restructuring. Vanessa, we expect you there. I show it to Jonah, who raises an eyebrow. Old habits die hard, huh? I type my response carefully. Can't make it. I'll be in Greece living my best life. Child's blessed. Then I block the number. Petty, Jonah grins. Poetic, I correct him. They taught me everything I know about consequences, remember? I look around my apartment, at the furniture I chose, the art I loved, the life I built, at Jonah, who saw me when I was invisible, at my phone, showing the flight confirmation to a dream I'm finally allowing myself to have. The morning sun catches everything in gold light, my freedom, my future, my choice to finally put myself first. Somewhere across town, my family is learning to live without their safety net, learning that actions have consequences, learning that love shouldn't require surrender. But that's their journey now, not mine. Mine is just beginning, and for once I can't wait to see where it leads. So, Jonah pulls me closer. Greece? I kiss him, tasting possibility and promise. Greece, and then wherever we want. It's our story now. Outside, the city awakens to a new day. Inside, in this space that's finally, completely mine, I'm awake too. Ready, free, complete. And this time, I'm keeping all my pieces for myself.